What's up guys, Philip here with Satisfye, and today we've got a new and very different video for you today because today is a VR day. Let's dive in. If you're playing VR, you definitely need to be playing Blade and Sorcery. This game is super awesome. It is a melee combat game filled with magic and all sorts of weapons. There's so many weapons to choose from, so many play styles and options. You can go hand-to-hand combat, you can go close combat, you can go range combat with a bow. My favorite though, if I had to pick my one favorite thing from this game, it would definitely be the magic, especially with the newest update. You have fire magic, which I am super sloppy with and cannot hit anything, but when you do, it is very satisfying. You have your typical, your usual telekinetic powers, where you can pick up objects, swords, spears, move them forward and back. But one thing they added into this new update, which I love, is the ability to select this kind of time force magic. It's the little purple glowy things. And what it does is it lets you actually grab players now. You can grab their arms, their hands, their weapons, their necks. You can stretch them and you can pull them apart and rip their limbs off of them. It's so satisfying, it's so amazing. Magic by far is my most favorite part of this game. They did weaken I feel like they weakened the electric magic, the kind of, Sith Lord electricity powers. You can electrify your weapons now, you can flame your weapons now, which is really cool. I used to love using those electric powers. They are cool, I like the way that they work now. Your distance is a little bit shorter, it feels like, but it's not as strong as it was. I feel like it takes a long time to try to kill someone with that electricity. Maybe better for just stunning them, finishing them off with some other type of a finisher. The fourth power is manipulating time, slowing down time. This is awesome as well. You can do some really cool and fun things when you slow down time. So another amazing thing about Blade and Sorcery, of course, is the blades. Using the swords, two-handed swords, so many different options, axes, chopping off limbs, grabbing a shield, ramming it into someone. You can go one-on-one, you can go 20-on-1. It's such an amazing experience. The graphics are amazing in this game. The visuals are beautiful, they're crisp. The sound that you get out of using your magic or just clashing blades is awesome. Very visually appealing game, and I love it. It is easily one of the best fighting games on the VR platform. So if there's a few things I had to nitpick about the game, it was pretty few and far between. The only thing I would say is when you get really, really close and you're super, you get like inches away from someone, the combat does get a little bit wonky there. They've done a great job, and I do have to say, of all the melee combat fighters on the VR platform, I feel like these guys have done the best job. Sometimes when you're pulling the bow, I don't understand it. Sometimes I'm just a crack shot with the bow, and other times the arrows are just constantly falling out. I can't even draw an arrow, so that gets a little bit annoying, but that could also be user error.
Oh my goodness.
The other thing about this game, this is a game that can make you sick. There are as far as I know, there's no blinking option in this game. So when you're moving around, you're definitely got that feeling of, whoa. If you can brace it and get used to it, no problems at all. I have no issue playing the game now. I can move freely throughout the game and not get motion sickness. Number 2 on our list is definitely gotta be BONEWORKS. This is an amazing game. When BONEWORKS first dropped, I was hooked on this game. I could not stop playing it. I absolutely had to finish it through to the end. It was such a great game. My wife probably got super mad at me because I would not put this game down. Tons of fun. It was the most Half-Life-esque feeling game that I've ever played on VR, and it was awesome. So in BONEWORKS, there is no option for reducing motion sickness in this game. You are all in. You're grabbing objects, you're climbing up things, you're falling off of things, you're jumping down, you're moving around. You can slow time, which is amazing in BONEWORKS. I'm really glad that they have this slow time feature. It is so fun and satisfying to use. The other thing that I love about the freedom in this game and going anywhere and really solving puzzles and killing enemies or just walking right past enemies is an amazing option. You don't have to kill anybody. Well, For the most part, if you can just dodge them and walk past them, you can do it. If you want to kill them by throwing a brick on their head from 3 stories, you can do that too. You can grab them by the legs and pull them off of things. There's just so much room for freedom in this game, and that's really a beautiful thing in VR games. The other thing that I will say is the gun mechanics. Of all gun games and shooting games that I've ever played, I think this game has completely nailed the gun mechanics. Being able to just point a pistol at something, shoot it in the head, one shot and it's dead is an amazing feeling. The way that you interact with the gun, you eject the magazine, you grab another one, load it, cock it back. It's just such a satisfying experience. And the realism to the guns too. You know, the 1911, the way that they sound and the power behind it, and the grabbing an SMG or grabbing your M4, it has a very realistic charging handle, and the way that you interact with the gun feels realistic. I love that about this game. I love the on-point physics of the game. The physics are amazing. They're so much fun. There's so much wonky, random stuff that you can do in this game and play with. It truly is just a big, giant open sandbox, and that's what I love about it. So in BONEWORKS, there's not a lot of story in the game. I mean, there's a little bit of story, and this guy keeps talking to you, and that's kind of fun. It's interesting to figure out where you are and what's going on. But it's not really about the story, but there's definitely a progression through the game, and you just want to see what's going to happen next. You're so super excited about like what they're going to throw at you. What does this next level look like? I love the puzzles in the game. Some of them are absolutely frustrating at first, and then all of a sudden you solve it and you're like, oh wow, that was like super stupid. Why didn't I think of that? One thing BONEWORKS definitely has is replayability. You have so many options, whether you want to do story mode and redo the story mode. You have the sandbox where you can load in all these objects. You can load everything in. You can play with all the random dev tools. You can spawn in whatever bad guys you want. That's really fun. And then you have the arena, and the arena is one of my favorite things to do. I love just opening up the game, going into the arena, and just battling and shooting and just really enjoying that slow motion, the gun physics. There's something so satisfying about taking out those pistols and just double tapping or shooting one of the zombies in the head. It feels so good. I absolutely love this game for that reason. One thing you do need to know about this game though is that because there is no blinking system, there's no other movement options outside of a continuous movement where you're moving yourself with a joystick. That may make a few people sick. We have some people in our office who absolutely cannot play this game because they just end up wanting to vomit after they play it. I don't know. I think you gotta push through it. If you can push through it, the game is absolutely amazing. If you can get used to the movement, it's gonna immerse you in so many more VR games. So if you can, force yourself over and over to get used to that feeling, and then once you do, you'll be flying around the level with no clipping mode on, and it doesn't even bother you. Super fun. HalfLife Alyx definitely is our top #1 game at this moment on VR. The Half-Life universe in VR. Going into that universe is so immersive and so amazing. In VR, it's like nothing else you've ever played. I am a huge fan playing Half-Life 1 and all the mods, and then Half-Life 2. Absolutely love the game, love the story. The story in Half-Life Alyx is phenomenal. You do not want to stop playing because you want to keep progressing through the story. It's filled with humor. The visuals in this game are absolutely fantastic. These are the best visuals, hands down, I have ever seen in a VR game. Valve absolutely nailed the visuals on Half-Life Alyx. The physics are great, the way that you interact with objects in the game and enemies are great. Immediately when you start the game, you're immersed in the world. There's things flying over your head. There's walkers coming across the screen. The sound is intense. The suspense is intense. There is so much suspense in Half-Life Alyx, whether you're walking through the sewers with a flashlight on, you can barely see anything. It's the freakiest thing ever. Or maybe you run into Jeff, this giant, creepy, half man, half alien thing that is just absolutely terrifying, and you are with him for way too much of the game, dodging him, interacting with him. It's freaky. That is absolutely some of the scariest gameplay I've ever had in a game, was playing with Jeff. Another thing about this game, I love the puzzles. Half-Life has always been about puzzles. They integrated puzzles really well into this game. It was fun. There's some really frustrating moments, but when you get through those frustrating moments, there's this like, oh, this feeling of gratitude. You're just like so thankful and grateful to have gotten through that puzzle, and it does feel good. It is very rewarding. So if there's anything negative or nitpicky I had to say about this game, it would be probably the weapon system. I like the way that you draw up your weapons, but I feel like at least with the Valve Index, which is what we use to play, it's really easy to deselect your weapon or select the wrong weapon, and so that gets a little frustrating. Also the lack of the ability to use other weapons, to grab an object, to grab a crowbar or a hammer or some random thing in the game and smash it on someone. If you don't have your gun in your hand, you're not going to kill an enemy. You can't grab enemies like you can in BONEWORKS. One thing I love about BONEWORKS is being able to grab things. You can kill any enemy with any object that you can find. That is not the case in HalfLife Alyx. There was many times where I thought I could kind of swat or pistol whip something that completely did not work. So that was one thing that was a little frustrating with the game. In that aspect, there is a little, I would say a slight lack of freedom that definitely is not lacking in BONEWORKS. If those two games just married together, it'd be the perfect game ever. I would be in heaven, VR heaven. And another amazing thing about HalfLife Alyx is that it does give you multiple movement options. You can blink, you can have continuous movement, you can shift around, you can blend both, and that is really, really nice because it opens the doors for everybody to enjoy it. Everybody in this office can play HalfLife Alyx, assuming they don't get too scared at certain points. The movement system, though, isn't going to make anybody sick, and that's an amazing thing. This game truly has it all. Graphics, sound, the story, humor, suspense. There is no better game on VR that you could try than HalfLife Alyx. So those are my top 3 VR games that are absolutely must-tries in order: Blade and Sorcery, BONEWORKS, HalfLife Alyx. If you haven't played any one of these games, absolutely highly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope this video was helpful. Let us know in the comments below. Did you like this video? Is this content that you want to see more of? We have on the calendar to produce one VR video once a month at the end of each month. Don't forget, subscribe to the video, smash the bell icon, follow us at Satisfye Gaming on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything else. We will see you guys in the next video.